Hello, guys. We are back after 1 week of break because of the international matches, but all remains the same. Gibraltar didn't win a game, and McGregor lost versus Mayweather. So the world is still the same after this week. Our first week of shows was quite nice. We spotted some values on Premier League, which, as I told you, is difficult. Odds movements and the value bets on those leagues are very difficult to take because the market is much more liquidity, and there is a big difference between the top leagues and small leagues because of higher limits, and also because usually the odds are open much more earlier than usual than the other leagues. Um, it is normal the markets adjust much quicker, much faster than the others. But well, it wasn't a win bet. But for example, the Everton plus 1.5 goals on Asian handicap that we spoke about it around 176. It closed the price I pointed here, and the price closed around 157. A very good margin in Premier League, I have to say. Then the Crystal Palace versus Swansea, that one a winning one, the double chance of Swansea. The movement wasn't so high, but Crystal Palace, when we spoke, it was around 195, 196, and it closed around 2.12. For me, it was still far from my line. My fair line on that on the Crystal Palace win should be more close to 2.3. Um, then Athletic, Athletic, it was an odd that didn't move too much. For me, 1.8 was definitely too high. They usually have an easy walk there. They need to prove something on this game too, and they won 5-1 easily. And but we didn't have a sure win or something. We didn't have enough odds movement for that. But for those that take it as punter, it was an easy win, and the odds close around 176. So not a huge difference. Um, so today we're gonna go through some games. I'm gonna drop here the Portuguese league today because of what? Because an important thing that you can note also that because of the international pause, the odds open too early. So on 28th of July, we already had odds for this weekend on Portuguese leagues, and that is too much time. So markets adjust. You can, for example, I can show you a sample. Feirense versus Sporting. Sporting open on soft market around 1.7. That is already adjusted. It's 1.4 at the moment, and it's correct the odds, so no big value. And most of the odds for the weekend are adjusted, and there is no big values, no big adjustments to check. So we're gonna drop that today, and we're gonna through the Champions League of next week. Still some time, so even being a very big league with markets usually with big limits on all bookmakers, there is some odds that I believe that they still deserve a shot till that time because they should drop, and some others that as punter I need to take them because they are valuable enough to do it, and let's go through them. The first game is Olympiacos versus Sporting. You have it there here. So Olympiacos Sporting Clube Portugal. It's a very tough group. These two teams shouldn't have a chance on it, but I believe that the goal line of this game is not it's not priced correctly at the moment. You can find the over 2.0, so which is an over protected. In case of two goals, it's void. Um, Around even, so 2.0, 2.01. It's an excellent value because looking for the two teams, Sporting is a very offensive team, uh, and on the others, a very offensive team, and they play offensively on any field, on any pitch, and it won't be different in Greece. They, especially because if they start defending, they're gonna lose easily the game. Uh, and on the other side, Olympiacos is also a team. Well, at home they are very strong. They are very used to control the game because on their league they don't have a big opponent. Or at least most of the teams are not big opponents for them. So they have two strong wings, three strong wings. One on the bench, Pardo, which already played on the Portuguese league, and I believe that they can do some damage to this Sporting. So over 2.0 seems a very good offer. Even both teams to score 2.2, it's also good. I prefer the over. I think that well, it's safer, and I believe that the odds gonna drop too. I would say that this over that it's priced now around 2.0. The fair price would be around 175, 180 maximum. So still a good margin to take it. The other game that I also like very much on this first round of Champions League, it's with two teams that well they did an amazing season last one, and it's the German team Leipzig and Monaco. Well, on this one is I believe that the over also is the best one to take. It's still the first round, and the teams don't have to defend too much. The group of this, well, with Besiktas and Porto, is a group where both team, all the teams have a chance to go through. Um, but these two are very offensive, both of them. And even with Monaco selling already Mbappe that did an incredible season last one, I believe that over 2.5 on this game has to pay off, and 1.8. Well, I'm surprised. I have to say that I could see here the over 3.5 as the main line. So over 2.5, 1.8, it's good enough to take it too. Then the other game, and that well there is more too, but the other game that I like very much at the moment to do to do a sure win close to kickoff is the game Porto versus Besiktas. So Porto versus Besiktas at the moment, the price of Porto is definitely too low. Porto is open around 175, and I think it was fair at the time. The odds dropped too much. Porto usually is a very strong team in Europe, it's true, but they have some problems for this game. Their main striker is suspended the last season, last games on Europe, and it won't be easy to them. Besiktas is not so weak for 155. So I believe that Port will close around 175 again, 1.8. So this hype that the odds of that the market saw in Porto, I think that will disappear close to kickoff when more money will be involved. So I would say that lay Porto, so go against Porto, double chance on Besiktas, or or for those that use Betfair, lay Porto at the moment is definitely a good trade till kickoff. I won't say that is a bet that I would take as punter, but till kickoff, I believe that it's valuable. And the last one that I also to point here is again an over, and between two teams that well they play an amazing football, also very offensive one. Paul Fonseca on Shakhtar Donetsk, the Ukrainian team, is always a very offensive team. Last year they proved it on Europa League. All the games had plenty of goals, and even on domestic league, and they will face Napoli, which is a very strong team too, a team that didn't move too much since last season. So I would say that they also will be top contenders in Serie A because there are a lot of teams that did big investments there, but Napoli they failed to do investments, but sell. They didn't sell, and that could be crucial for this season. So far, I see Napoli as a top contender also on Serie A. About this game, over 2.5 also. It's exactly the same as Leipzig versus Monaco. Both games, in my opinion, should have the main line as over 3.5, and they don't. So that is valuable for me. For those that want to trade till kickoff, I believe that the over will be massively destroyed, and but I will take this as punter. I believe that both have more than chances to more than these odds transmit in terms of chances. So the other game that there is still small value because there was a big value on the beginning of when the odds were made, which was Paris Saint Germain playing at Celtic Glasgow. The odds at the moment are 127, but they open 144, and that price was amazing. Paris Saint Germain and Celtic are completely different worlds. And Celtic was very lucky, I have to say, because they lucky that they destroy their opponent at home, because then they suffer a lot on the road to be on this stage of Champions League. And 144 was too good. There is still 130 something on some bookmakers. I would say that Paris Saint Germain will go there and win the game. The quality, the difference of these two teams is huge, and Paris Saint Germain wants to prove that they are not a team for win the League 1, but to win the Champions League. And this year with Neymar and Mbappe, they want to show something to the world, and that will pass. That will start with winning at Celtic in Scotland. The other game, which is a small value, I have to say, not huge, is Feyenoord versus Man City. I'm here looking for the game, but Feyenoord and Man City, well, very different teams from very different championships too. The quality of their leagues is is huge, and it's a bit of same between Celtic and Paris Saint Germain. Feyenoord is doing very well on their domestic league, but the experience of their players on Europe is low, and 144 to see 145, even one tick or another up bigger than that on Man City to win the game. I have to say that I like it. I'm not. I don't like too much very low odds, but I would say that take that as Asian handicap -1, and you have a bet for the round for this round for sure. So if you want to recap it, Olympiacos versus Sporting over 2.0, good value till kickoff, and also good value for the game. Then over 2.5 on Leipzig versus Monaco and the Shakhtar versus Napoli. Lay Porto versus Besiktas because the odds of Porto gonna raise, and Feyenoord versus Man City. Not huge value, but Man City at that price is still a good bet. So now there is also two games on the weekend on Premier League that I like. Of course, that there are big games, but I have to say that those more valuable for me are not so big. And one is again with Crystal Palace. Well, I don't hate them, I have to say. So, but I see value against them again. They were priced around 195 last time versus Swansea at home, and now Burnley versus them is priced around 2.35. Let me find here the game. So yes, 2.35. So you can find that odd easily. I'm not sure if Burnley straight win is the best option to take, but you have drawn a bet very close to 1.7, 167, 168, and for me it's a valuable bet here. Burnley at home, usually they are very strong. At least last season they proved that. And Crystal Palace is not on a good moment, and I think that on the road is not a good place to find the moment, and especially on Turf Moor where Burnley is very strong. So that drawn a bet for me, it's available bet for the weekend on Premier League. And the other game is Southampton versus Watford. So I'm not convinced about the potential of this Southampton, and I can't agree with these odds neither. So as you can see, the average odds of Southampton to win the game is 165, and I see a lot of value in Watford plus one around 1.8. I think that it's a very good bet to take. 179 at the moment. Asian handicap plus one on Watford is a very good bet to take for the weekend and also boost teams to score on this game. Watford is, well, they have a coach that love to play in transitions, and at home Southampton will have to assume the game, so that will give a lot of space to Watford to do it, and I believe that they will score there on the road easily, if not more than once. So both teams to score around evens, because I think that Watford will concede too. It's a good bet. So I'm gonna split my stake and take both on this one. And and that's all. That's all for today. Of course, that late on Friday, and especially because this time the value on Portuguese leagues is not too much in terms of odds movement. So it's not very. I believe that it's not possible to us to get some sure wins till the kickoff. I'm gonna approach Portuguese league just for the weekend, just as punter. So um, doesn't make sense to approach them now because let's wait, and on Friday we'll have more information to, because usually it's very important for you guys to have all the information to research about the teams that you are going to bet, to have a good ratio between information and time to take the bet. Because if you have all the information and you lose too much time to take the bet, then you also will lose all the value because the market already dropped where you want to take it. So it's needed to have a good ratio. That's the reason why we do it on Friday, because most of the times it's already enough. So to have all the information about the team that's going to play on the weekend, even if the game is on Sunday, and also to have a good timing in terms of value. So in terms of if you want to take bets as punters, well, Friday, Saturday morning, well, more than it should be more than enough. Of course, that sometimes and on top leagues is very hard to find to have very good information, or at least an inside, not needed to be a really inside information, but well, a local, at least local, but on low leagues, on leagues less with not so known, like for example second Portuguese league or second division or third division of Spain, or second Italian division. Well, on those cases, for example, well, information is much more crucial, and you can have movements of 30%, sometimes more. You won't find that on Premier League, of course, but we found 10% of movements last week, and that it's good enough on Premier League. Looking for the money that all the bookmakers accepted on these leagues, because well, it's a huge difference also between low leagues and a Premier League or a La Liga for a bookmaker, where you can have like well, for a second Portuguese division compared with the Premier League, you'd have like 5% or 5% of the money that you can put on that league. Sometimes less than 5%. It depends on the bookmaker and their strategy, if they want to have some risks on those low leagues, because they usually don't, because also the information that they have about the bookmaker about these leagues is very low. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. See you Friday, same time. So bye bye and good bets.